Hello, this is Sarah Soiledplant and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing some decluttering. I have a bunch of plants. I haven't really bought any lately and I'd like to just kind of streamline my collection. I think I'm actually going to be getting rid of as much as I possibly can. I'm even going to be getting rid of some of my rare stuff. I'm going to kind of step through my entire collection and make decisions as to whether or not I'm going to keep them or not. I do actually like every plant in my collection. There are none that are ones that I would get rid of just because I don't like them. This is strictly because I just can't handle how many plants I have. I haven't counted in a while, and depends on how you count propagations, but I have well over 100 plants, probably closer to 200 plants. So I'd like to sort of curate my collection down a little bit. Definitely get rid of some duplicates, maybe get rid of some plants that, even though I like them, I just could stand to be without them in my collection. First one I'm going to talk about is my Cebu Blue Pothos. This one gives me a lot of anguish, but it is one that is doing pretty well. I've gotten rid of my duplicate potted plant, but I do have a ton of cuttings like this that I am going to sort of put in a container and sell. I certainly don't need all those propagations, and this thing is a propagation monster, and I managed to always sell every propagation I ever take of this plant, so I am going to keep it just for the fact that this one plant is doing pretty well. I have to pull dead leaves off of it all the time, but I water it constantly, hoping that it'll sort of stay with me. This one's doing so much better than the other one I had, which I've already gotten rid of, but I am going to keep this one just because I'm so proud of how it's doing, even though it's still not doing great, if that makes any sense. I've got my Hoya Crimson Princess and my Snow Queen Pothos, and I am going to keep them. They are just lovely, and they keep growing, and they cause me no problems. This one, on the other hand, I do think I'm actually going to get rid of. This is my Philodendron 69686. I just took cuttings of this plant, and I think that they're going to do well, so I'm going to keep the smaller plant and actually get rid of the bigger plant. And I need to figure out where I'm putting all of these. Moving right along, my Rhubarba I've only had for a short amount of time, and that was actually a gift from a friend, so I am going to keep that one for the time being. I am so on the fence about this Billietier. It is huge. I love it. It grows so well, but it is impeding the flow of traffic. Like, it hangs over the side of the table, and it's just not the cutest. Do you love how you can see my reflection right here? It is driving me nuts. I might have to change angles. There, that's a little bit better. You don't have to see my face constantly over there. I have my Philodendron Ice Frost, which is staying nice and frosty with its new growth. It's lovely. I've lost quite a few leaves off of it, but I'm still very happy with it. My Audibot Poense, on the other hand, I do have a smaller Audibot Poense here that is doing pretty well, and it will grow and get really nice and big. I kind of like the idea of having this as a small plant and watching it grow. It's doing very well. It's got lovely new growth, and it doesn't quite have the little lobes and everything yet. It's so cute. So I do kind of want to keep this, and I also have a top cutting that just started rooting, which I will also put in here, like in a few weeks once the roots are a little bit longer. So I think I'm actually going to get rid of the mother plant. Over here I do have my Syngonium albo, and while I do love it, it's losing some variegation, so I'm hoping to move it closer to the window so I can pull some more variegation out. It's usually very close to these lights, and that's not quite sufficient, so I'm going to be moving this back and then hopefully be able to get some more variegation out, but definitely keeping that. Got my lovely Hoya Publicalyx that will always keep growing. This thing, like, all its little entrails are so long. I love it. While I'm tempted to get rid of my little Gloriosum, I know that selling it in this state, it's not going to take or get me much money anyway. And it's starting to grow finally. I've got a second leaf on the way that looks a lot more promising than the first one. So I do think I'm going to keep this for a little while longer. It's not causing any problems. It's just kind of there. This is my little 69686, and this is the one I'm going to be keeping. So that one is back here in this corner, so I'll leave that one alone. Now for the plants in my Millsbow cabinet, I think the only things I'm going to get rid of are my Monstera Peru. I'm going to pot this up in a different pot and then sell this. I think I'm done with my Monstera Peru experiment. And then I think I'm also going to get rid of the base plant of my Philodendron Splendid. I love this plant, but I have another one up here that is doing really, really well and have multiple plants in, so I think that is the one I'm going to keep, and I'm going to get rid of the base plant. Now in this corner, I think I'm going to be getting rid of one of my low variegation albos. It only has a little bit of variegation on the back and on this side. I tried to sell this one before, but I think I priced it too high, so I'm gonna price it much lower and hopefully this one will sell. I've still got all my other elbows and such, so I've got plenty to play with. And then I do think I'm gonna be getting rid of my other Monstera Peru. They're fine, they just grow really slowly for me, and for some reason they just don't like me very much, so I'm just gonna get rid of both of the ones I have. I'm also gonna be getting rid of my string of hearts here. It's nice and long, but it's only like 4 strands, and I've got 2 other long plants and 1 other smaller plant that is rooting and doing really well, so I don't need this many. I think I'm gonna get rid of this one because this is probably of the ones my least favorite, so I'm gonna be getting rid of this one. And I think that's it for this section. Pretty sure that's gonna be it. This area is really backlit, so sorry about the view, I guess. So I think the first one I'm gonna pick up is probably going to be this Philodendron Micans. Yeah, this Philodendron Micans. I've got 2 of them, and this one's getting a lot better. I put this in a nice location so it would grow better. You can't really tell. Hopefully can I block out the light so you can see a little better? Yeah. So it's lovely, but I have 2 of them and I don't need 2 of them. So I'm going to get rid of this one. I have my freshly planted red arrow, the Syngonium red arrow. So I'm definitely going to be selling this. That was the plan originally. I thought maybe I'd keep it, but I might give it to a friend. You know, these are pretty easy plants, so this might be something I gift. Who knows? The next plant is really drippy, so I've got it on a little plate. But this is the Colis that I showed. I thought that this was a philodendron for a long time because it was sold to me as a philodendron, and it's not. And because it has no potential to get big and gigantic, I am going to end up selling this. So I'll have to figure out what this is first before I sell it, but I will sell it. I might give them away as gifts or sell them, I'm not sure yet, depending on sort of who wants plants in my friend group and whatnot. So next we'll be moving into the plant room and seeing what from there we'd like to get rid of. So in here, I don't think there's a ton of plants I'd like to get rid of. I do have this begonia that I'd like to get rid of. This might be a freebie to somebody or like a couple bucks, who knows, but it's fine. It just needs whatever, but I have 2 of these. So the one that's growing a little wonky and I have this one that's growing a little wonky, I'll just get rid of one and not the other. And so that is one that I'm going to be getting rid of. So in here I have some propagations, and almost all of them are alocasia, and some of them are kind of literally poking out of the top of these. So I think some of these will be ready to sell or at least transplant into something bigger. So I'll do something with these, but this might not be for like this video. This video I'm getting rid of like adult plants and things that are ready to sell right now. But these are definitely next in line for, plants I'll be getting rid of. Not the purpose of this video, but I just want to show you my white princess came up with a new leaf. And look at how cute the little leaf is. It's got a good amount of white in it, so I'm very happy with that. So this one's, becoming its own thing. It's got a new little leaf kind of pipping along the way, so it's very exciting. Another future project that's not going to be for this video is my alocasias that are up here kind of doing really well. They are sprouting a bunch of corms like there's no tomorrow. It's like we need to breed right now. And so there's so many corms in this one and in my dragon scale. So that'll definitely be a project for this summer for sure. So here's my collection of plants that I'm going to be selling, getting rid of, gifting, what have you. I'm just trying to downsize a little bit, get rid of some of the duplicates. And in the case of the Peru and the Colis, I think I'm just going to get rid of those altogether. They were nice while I had them. I've had them for, at least these Peru, I've had them for like 2.5 years. And this is what I have to show for it. So it's probably best to kind of have them move on to a different home. And I think this will be good. I need to declutter, and I'm going to be so relieved to have a little bit more time. This is basically 1.5 gallons of watering that I would be able to skip every day, so I'm going to be very happy about that. Thank you so much for watching this. I am going to be so relieved to have fewer things to water. I feel like every time I water, it takes at least 6 gallons to do like half the house, and then I have to like refill my water gallon jugs with my purified water, which takes forever, and then I do the other ones the next day. And it's just, I want to curate a little bit. I want to tamp it down a little bit. Also, I have a lot of plants and a lot of small plants, so if I could get rid of a handful of the bigger ones, that would probably help a lot. So that is what I have chosen to do. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of me, you can subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you on the next video. Bye!